Hello, this is Evelyn Hudson. Welcome to the Advanced Searching Student Workshop. As a reminder for the future, these are live workshops, so feel free to log in, and that gives you the opportunity to interact in chat or to ask questions specific to maybe an assignment you have. But we will go ahead and get started so that we can complete the recording. So if you did not attend the Introduction to Searching workshop, I recommend you go and access that recording and view it before watching this if you're not comfortable or familiar with databases. We are going to be discussing EBSCOhost as the primary example, but these situations can be applied to all of the databases, the Gale databases, the ProQuest, and in general across Google, Wikipedia. So we're going to start with creating the search query. So in our first workshop, we talked about Boolean operators. These are words like and, or, and not. These pretty much tell your keywords how they interact with each other so that it will connect or exclude certain terms from your search query. Some advanced strategies include truncation, wildcards, and proximity searching. These instruct that database how to treat specific keywords using symbols. Those symbols are the asterisk for truncation in the EBSCO database. These literally will just take the root of the word and substitute words that are related to that root word, like computer, computing, computation for compute, tourism, tourist for tour. And what this does is it expands your search results. I recommend using this if you're still not tied to a topic. If you're searching for a narrow topic for a subject, this might help you to really zero in on something. Wildcards are symbols inserted into words, like for the NE with that pound symbol T, you'll get words like neat, nest, next, or newt. This is particularly useful for spelling variations like between countries where you have the O and the OU. This might be able to retrieve more results by taking that into consideration. Truncation symbols and wildcards cannot be used in the same search. I don't know why you would use them in the same search. It seems needlessly complicated. I recommend using one or the other. So this is what the advanced search page looks like in EBSCOhost. You'll see you have the 3 search bars, and here you have your and or not Boolean drop-down boxes. You also have the option to select a field. What this does is it searches the metadata of the article records in the databases. So if you know an author name, or if you know a geographic term, or if you have an NAICS code, this is where you can enter that in and select that field to search specifically. This is also useful for searching for journal titles or subjects within journal titles. Further down on that advanced search page, you'll see that you have a lot of different options before you start your search. You can select to search through smart text searching. You would copy and paste, say, an abstract or an existing article, full text of an article, and this just allows you to do a more thorough search of the text, and it's going to pull out keywords while omitting words like a, the, or. So you might find some connections between subjects and topics that you might not have been able to make by just searching for keywords. So all these options in this search modes and expanders box is going to expand those search results. Again, if you're at the beginning of your search and you don't have a research question, you don't have a narrow topic, this would be a fantastic place to really go in and search for something that you're interested in. If you scroll down a little further, you're going to get into the limiting options. This is where you'll find the full text box, your scholarly peer-reviewed journals box. You want to definitely click that full text because this is going to make sure that you are getting the whole article instead of just an abstract. The abstract would tell you what the article is about, but it's not the full text of the article. The peer-reviewed journals box, if your instructor is requiring those scholarly resources, this is where you would click that to make sure that you're getting those resources. Peer review, that's a process by which something proposed as for research or publication is evaluated by a group of experts in the appropriate field. So for medical journals, this is going to be medical professionals, doctors, researchers who have read these articles, read through these journals, and have approved it as a good base science. That publication search box, you can enter in your different keywords, and it's going to search within the title of the periodicals, the journal titles. As a note, there is a thing called an embargo. Embargoed articles will become available via full text, typically 6 to 12 months after the publication date. So within a full text database, you might find article abstracts where you don't get that full text. Something that specifically has been published most recently. This is pretty common in medical databases, medical journals. So you would have the abstract, but you would not be able to access the full text of that for up to a year. This is just a licensing issue. Further on down, if you need reference, or if you want an article that has references, you would check that references available box. Not everything within the databases is going to have, say, a works cited list. You've got popular periodicals like magazine articles, which may not reference or cite other sources within that. You can also narrow publication date from that advanced search page, and then publication type. And just as a tip, academic journals are considered periodicals according to the EBSCOhost databases. Document type, that's not the same thing as publication type. This is the content of a publication. So articles, abstracts, bibliographies within a publication. You can also search by number of pages. If you need something that is greater than 5 pages or something that's a little bit shorter, you can tell the database how to search for those articles by length. And then the image quick view types, this is just going to allow you to search if there are images available within the journal articles that you're searching, or the periodicals. You're going to be able to select that from that area. Language, you'll typically probably select English, but if you have a different preference, you would go through that and select your preference. If you select cover story, this is going to be a article or something that was a cover story, say on a magazine. The image quick view, this is going to show you images from the database record. And the PDF full text, that will allow you to get the PDF file version of the full text of an article. We had a conversation with this in the in-person workshop. PDF and HTML, excuse me, full text are separate, are different. The PDF is essentially a scan of the original article in its original format. So say if something was in a magazine, it's going to show you that article exactly as it appeared in the magazine. The spread, the formatting, everything. You're also going to get some better printing capabilities from that. So if you print from a PDF, the formatting is going to be a lot more streamlined for printing versus the HTML version, which is useful more so for using the features in the databases that allows it to read to you. So if you have any sort of accessibility issues, low vision issues, that's a useful tool. It will also allow the database to read it to you in another language. So if English is not your first language, you can select that as well. So there is some benefits to both, some drawbacks to both, and I will go through in the lab demonstration and point out how to tell the difference between those. So as you're going through your search, you may find that you're not really bringing anything out that you envisioned for your topic, you're not finding exactly what you want to search for. And it could be that your keywords are insufficient. Maybe you need to rethink your keywords, and it could also be that just the topic itself is not a great topic. There's really nothing out there about it. You might have to go back and change that topic. So this is what the search results page will look like if you're doing a search within EBSCOhost. You will see on the left side of your screen, it says refine results. We refer to those as limiters. So from the search page, you can add additional limits to your search, and that's going to adjust those search results in real time. So if you were to move that publication bar, it's going to change those search results to give you either fewer if you limited further that publication date range, or if you expanded it, it's going to, of course, give you more results. And again, if you didn't select text box, you can do that from the limiter on the search results page. You can scroll down and you can select from a thesaurus term in the subjects. The thesaurus terms, these are controlled vocabularies within the databases. And essentially what that means is it gives you words that the authors have supplied. It's going to be a more exact connection to how those articles are stored in the databases. Every database is essentially just an index. It's a collection. And those collections have to be categorized, have to be labeled. Subject terms are the labels on those articles, and that is how you find them. So your keywords may not always be a controlled term. Sometimes it will take a keyword that you have used and it will do a near search. So it's going to try to understand exactly what you're searching for. Google is really good at doing this. The Google algorithm is a lot of it is based off of your region and what people in your region are searching. So in a similar way, the academic databases will try to interpret what you mean, even if it's not those exact terms. But you'll find if you click into the detailed records on some of these results, you're going to see subject terms pulled out, and those are the controlled terms, and you can use those to further your search if you want to go back and try to find more articles on the topic, or if you need to adjust your search but you like the subject terms that you're finding in other articles. So within the EBSCOhost databases, yeah, these are on the far left. In the Gale databases, those are probably going to be on the right side of your screen, those limiting options, and these just allow you to adjust your search from the results page. So again, those source types, you can go through and you can say, oh, I only want to look at academic journals. Oh, I only want to look at magazines or newspapers. You can make that selection from the limiter as well. You also might be able to have some success by reorganizing your results as opposed to changing the search. It defaults to relevance, so based off of your keywords, it's going to try to rank those results in how relevant they are to your keyword or search query phrase. You can also go in and switch that based off the date of publication, either from newest to oldest or oldest to newest. I think newest to oldest is obviously the most common. You can try to rank those by author or by source, and I do believe that's alphabetized. This might be a way to kind of reshuffle the deck, so to speak. So maybe something that wasn't rising to the top relevance-wise is going to be more suited to what you're searching for, especially when you throw in those date parameters. So this is what the detailed record of a search result looks like. So if you were to click into one of those articles on your search page, this is typically what you're going to see in the EBSCOhost databases. So it shows you the title, the authors, the journal title, which is the source, and all that citation information is going to be right there as well. Document title. As I mentioned, those subject terms, those are from the thesaurus. Those are the controlled vocabulary terms. So if you need to go back and search for more articles, you can copy and paste those into your search, certainly, and maybe have more luck using those controlled specific terms. This is also where you're going to find your abstract. So if you read through that, you can see if this article is really suited to what you're searching for, or if it's relevant, and if not, then you don't have to go into the whole article. The author names are also linked, so if they have multiple publications, multiple articles that they've written, if you like an author, and scholarly authors tend to write along the same topics, so you might be able to find more resources by that same author. You can certainly click into their author name and search for more things by them. So unlike the author, geography, and subject link keywords, clicking the source title, the journal title, like Journal of Health Disparities Research and Practice, that's going to direct you to the publication record page, which shows you all of the articles, the abstracts, and full text articles available from that publication. So the geographic term will search within the subject heading field of document records, and the author supplied keywords are keywords the author selected to use and recommend to search for their articles in the future. These, let's see, yeah, author supplied keywords are not necessarily controlled terms. Let me just go back, because there is some nuance to that. Subject terms, these are controlled terms within the database. These are created by the people who create the metadata on the backside. Author-supplied keywords are literally words that the article author has pulled out, and that is how they categorize their article. So there's some difference there. Again, those subject terms are going to be the best way to search the database because it was built around those. Whereas the author-supplied keywords, these are just your general kind of keywords. You might have some success searching with them, but these are not the agreed-upon terms of the creator of the database, if that makes sense. It's a little complicated, but again, we'll do a live demonstration and we'll look at that a little closer. So this is a closer look at the abstract. This is also where you can copy and paste an abstract into that smart text searching that we talked about earlier. You can do that either from the detailed records page, or you can go back to the advanced search page and copy and paste that from there. This is just going to find similar results. Again, it is searching all of the keywords or important words that it considers in the abstract while pulling out your stop words, things like it, the, a, or things that don't really matter as much. And this could help you if you need additional sources. So if you're still not having luck finding sources, as I mentioned before, it could just be that the topic itself is not a great topic. Maybe there's just not a lot of research on that topic yet, nothing that is at least out in the public sphere or in an affordable manner. So you might have to consider changing your topic. So there are a few different methods for brainstorming topics. There's the zero draft, mind maps, and word clouds. The zero draft is essentially where you will get out a piece of paper or pull up a Word document and you just write down everything you know about that subject, and it's just like a free writing project. So you might have done this in some classes before where they assign you a subject, you write down everything you know about it, and then you write down maybe questions you have about it, like, I don't know this, this, and this about this subject. You can reflect on why the subject is important, why there might be a perception that the subject is important, just absolutely anything about the subject itself that is relevant. Again, this is free writing, so whatever comes into your brain, write it down. You never know what's going to trigger a line of inquiry that's really going to throw you into a good research question. You can also do a mind map. So this is essentially keywords that you will connect by lines. Sometimes you can draw little circles, little bubbles, and you write the keywords in, and then you'll branch out from those. You can do this longhand, either on a piece of paper, and you just write down in the center, the subject, and then you will branch out different things about that subject that are related, different keywords. Again, you can do questions. There's also the option of using the mind maps in our Credo reference database. This is our encyclopedia database, and essentially it is exactly like the encyclopedias that you probably use at some point in your academic career. So it's going to give you factual information about subjects. It doesn't get into the opinions on subjects so much or the editorializing, just literally tells you what the subject is. So that's not necessarily great for answering a research question, but it could potentially ignite or inspire questions in you. And again, it has this mind map feature, which is a really great visual of how things are connected. So in the example, you see that community college is that center subject, and then branching out, you've got different aspects of it. So you've got the associate's degree, vocational school, further education, adult education. And if you click on any of those within Credo, that's going to further branch out that mind map. And this is just a closer look at that. And as you can see here on the right, as you click into each of those little bubbles, it's going to show you all the results within the encyclopedia database relating to those. So that's a really interesting, potentially useful feature within our databases. Word clouds, this is another software type resource. There is a free one available, wordclouds.com. Essentially, you would just take and copy and paste either an abstract of an article that you're interested in using, or if you have an article that you're kind of clinging on to, you can take the full text of that preferably from the HTML, because you want there to not be any weird formatting in it. And you can copy and paste that into the software, and that is going to show you, it's going to pull out certain keywords. So words that are used more in an abstract or more in an article are going to be the largest words in this. So this is just a good way to get a visual understanding of which keywords are emphasized in certain articles or in certain subjects. So we are going to click into the databases. Let's stop sharing that. Hello again. This is the HCTC Libraries homepage. To access databases, you will go to Catalogs and Databases. And here's that list. As I mentioned, EBSCOhost is not the only database we subscribe to. Again, this was discussed in our Introduction to Searching workshop. We also subscribe to Gale Resources and ProQuest, and then there's Credo, which is that encyclopedia database. But we will stick with EBSCOhost for simplicity's sake. And within, again, we discussed this within our intro, but if you weren't there for that, within the databases, we have what's called sub-collections. You can go through and read what each of those is. Some of them are subject-specific. We have medical sub-collections, and then we have a lot of these interdisciplinary, which can be really useful for like English 101 or English 102. So we will search in Academic Search Complete. So here is the live view of that advanced search page. As you can see, there's a lot of options. You can really get into the ground level of your search and create a really well-crafted search from the advanced search page. Or you can choose to do a basic search, and that's just a single keyword or a couple keywords connected, say, gotcha and culture. You have the option to do that from the basic search. But we will go back to our advanced search. This is the select a field. Again, this searches specific fields of metadata or the defining information that was the articles are indexed with, things like the title, subject terms, those author supplied abstracts and keywords that we talked about. So if we want to search within an article title, we would like the word Appalachia to appear within the title of the article. And let's see, within our subject terms, maybe we would like opioid. Now, if we scroll down to those search options, we definitely want to make sure we select full text so that we're getting a complete article, not just an abstract. And for this assignment, we don't really need a peer-reviewed journal article. Maybe we just need a magazine article or a newspaper article. So we will skip that one. However, we would like something that was published within the last 10 years. And we don't really want a long article. We're looking for something a little bit more focused. So we want something less than 5 pages. And we're going to search. Oh, we searched too far. So this can happen if you select too many parameters. You might want to free up some of these options. So if we deselect the subject term field, maybe opioid wasn't available in a subject term. And there we have one result. So there's some benefits to having a lot of search results and then very, very few, like 1 or less than 100 would be considered few. If you have a lot of results, of course, there's still room for you to narrow your search. So there's a potential that there's something within those search results that could be useful to you. Potentially with fewer results, they might be more focused. Ideally, they would be more focused if you've created your search query really well. But of course, if you're getting 1 search result and you need 5 sources, there could be an issue with that. So if we wanted more sources from the search results page, as I mentioned, you can use these limiters. You can delete some of them. So if we were to get rid of our length requirement, so that pops us up to 5, we can stretch that publication day a little bit further. So say we could go back to Y2K 2000. Well, ideally we would. Well, it's not going to let us do that. Let's see, can we go back to, yeah, we'll go back to our 5 results. So we definitely want more than 1 in this situation. But this is what your results are going to look like. As you can see, it's going to show you what those little tiles saying that this is an academic journal, this is a periodical. And then here is where you're going to see whether that is a PDF full text option or an HTML full text option. So a PDF, as I mentioned, this is essentially a scan of the article as it originally appeared in its publication. It's going to give you those original page numbers. All the formatting is available, so while you can copy and paste from it, there are going to be some quality issues with copy and pasting. I recommend, if you're going to print from this PDF viewer here up in the corner. That's going to give you the best looking printout. And this is generally a better way to print an article than the HTML view. HTML, this is where the text is just essentially provided within the same frame as the detailed record. This is going to allow you to either have the computer read it to you, so you can select a different accent. In some cases, you can select a different language. And then if you have low vision issues, you would also be able to use the screen reader with the HTML version. And then again, if you have more than 5 results, unlike me at this point, you can change the way those are ranked. So if we get rid of one of those, 305, we want to sort from newest articles to oldest articles. That's what that looks like. And here's where it's going to show those images that are available within your results list. So on the detailed record, again, we discussed the linked information. So Kirkus Reviews is the publication. That leads to the publication page, which is going to show you all the articles available in the database under that publication. The subject terms, these are the controlled vocabulary within the database. If there are author-supplied keywords, they would be on this page as well. The authors are going to be linked out to other things that they've written that are available within the database. And then you have the abstract, which is the description of the article. So if you want to kind of get an idea of what the article is about without reading the full text, you can read that. And over here on the right side of the detailed record page, you have the tools. So this is where you would go to get your citations, which we will discuss further in our last workshop of the semester in April, our citing sources workshop. But we do have citation generators in all of the databases. They work okay. You definitely want to go behind and make sure that they're correct, because some of them use an older edition of the assigned or selected citation. So I know APA has a new edition out. I'm not sure that EBSCO specifically has updated their information, and this is not necessarily the correct formatting for this. So always make sure you go behind and make sure those are correct. Use your instructor's guidelines. Some instructors prefer different editions, or they might have some areas where they're a little bit more lax and some areas where they're more strict. So always make sure you consult your instructor's material, your syllabi, your handouts, anything they give you related to it. All right. So stop sharing my screen. I will send out this handout along with the links to the pre and post test and the try it activity. Essentially, you can print this out, and this is just kind of an overview of what we talked about today. It shows you those wildcard truncation symbols, gives you a little infographic on keyword searching, and then it just talks again about those brainstorming techniques, the mind maps, the word clouds. So that is for you to keep and to refer back to if you would like. And that, I believe, is the end. So if you have any questions, you can always find me in the library. I work both here at Stevens and at the Lee's Library, either at the circulation desk, or you can come around to my office. I'm available 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. You can also find me online. We have a live chat email text feature. It's in all of our web pages. It's in some of our databases, and it's on our LibGuides. So I'm going to stop talking now so I quit disturbing other people in the library. And hopefully I'll see you around.